February 10, year 2017. I helped a friend open a show. It was a group show, and perhaps gathered to express an intentional community of artists, or rather, an art-minded resistance, or better and more accurately, a to-do for a cold Friday evening. I contributed the first edition of a piece I label in my archive as Discrimination, and I bring it here to both catalog and reflect upon the feedback I've since received. At the opening, 2 younger adults, who approached me together, asked what my intentions were for the piece. I stood with them as the 3 of us looked at it. I identified what I considered the distinction of characters. I said, "These darker, smaller sheep are telling these lighter, larger sheep there will be no discrimination in the future. Behind them," I said, "are these wolves." After closing the show, I went to the internet to continue sharing the image. In the provided and seemingly encouraged space for comment, I offered what I considered at the time a clear interpretation of what the piece means to me. My comments read, "The upper hand gonna eat shit and do again until it's gone. This problem is ours only, as in our creativity, within an otherwise indistinguishable body of prey." Yikes. I'm not crazy about saying what things are, because, as so many artists have agreed, I don't believe I have the power to do that. I do, though, as a creator, feel obligated to make myself available to questions on the rare occasion they arise. For example, a friend sent a message some months after purchasing one. "I can't stop thinking about it," they said. "Are the wolves going to be friends now? Or are they to take advantage of the situation?" I responded because, again, I find intrigue in feeling responsible for things I make. In this context, I said, always the latter. Later, while walking by an establishment at night, a stranger called out, specifically while they had the chance, to ask if the same piece was still available. Both surprised and affably responsive, I informed them that it was not, but after explaining the piece's recreative intentions, we quickly agreed to commission a similar version. Closing our transaction a week later, the stranger was brief, openly grateful, and encouraged no additional comment. Tabling a zine fest that summer, an attendee paused their attention to a small displayed version of the image, printed in blue, red, and white, much like the flag of the United States of America. Reading the language to themselves, the person looked at me, pointed to the piece, and with a smirk said, "I appreciate the sentiment, but I don't believe that to be true." Another edition was sold while on the clock tending door to the venue that housed the gallery that housed both the piece and its sale. The customer mentioned they were drawn to the image and asked me directly, "What did you mean by this?" "These are the bad guys," I said, pointing to the wolves. "These are the black sheep," pointing to the black sheep. "And these are us," pointing to the white sheep. In this case, I said, discrimination is a matter of convenience. After a pause, I boldly offered, and maybe people like you and me are responsible. They grinned at me long with an instinctual confidence and said, "Maybe you shouldn't tell people that." Since retiring the image from print, I consider what edits or alternate approach I might pursue with the same material now. Perhaps I cut the dialogue. Make it a title instead. Put it in quotes. Is it overconfident to assume the reader aware of my intention? Does it matter if they aren't? Is it for them to know that? Or is language for reaction because a reaction feels like love? Is there both desire to be heard and for change? Which comes first? Or rather, which is of the spine, liberty or unity? And where do we come from to call either of those justice?